Rolling, y'all. You ready for your next comedian? This guy's so fucking funny. He's recording an album next month. Give it up for John Michael Bond, everyone!
Hey, hello. Hi, everybody. It's Evil Chris. This is how you know the American economy is doing super bad. They used to regulate guys that look like us one at a time to neighborhoods. And we've got this other fucker in the front. So things are going bad. I've been on tour for a month, so I seem a little feral. I told my wife I was going to get cigarettes. She's pissed. It's great. I started going to therapy recently. I volunteer that information because no one ever asks if I'm going to therapy. They ask where I was on January 6th a lot. And then they're like, what side were you on? That's not clear either. Yeah. I went to therapy because I yelled at a bicycle. Does that resonate? I don't know. I have a lot of anger issues. I figured it out during COVID. I started trying to work out, and I got like a thing called a Fitbit. Has anybody got one of those? Yeah, exactly. That's how enthusiastic it feels. And if you don't know what Fitbit is, it's an abusive relationship with a watch, basically. It's a little cop that sits on your wrist and calls you a piece of shit on the hour, basically. It's like, you didn't meet your goals today. And I'm like, it's been 6 months. You could be quietly disappointed, you know? But I got rid of my Fitbit, not because I didn't like what it was doing for my fitness. I got rid of it because it could tell you how much you sleep and how much you walk and how much, like, what your calories burn and all that shit. You know what it can't do? It can't identify anxiety. Let me rephrase that. Fitbit doesn't know what the fuck a panic attack is, guys. So 3 times a week, I got a shitload of credit for work I was not doing, right? They were just like, your heart rate's 187 beats per minute. You're in the fucking zone, bro. What happened? And I'm like, oh, my wife said she wanted to talk. Turns out we needed milk. It wasn't that bad. The breakthrough, though, was when I got a Peloton, which is, if you don't know, it's the exercise bike that has, like, the iPad and the Colt attached to it. If you've ever seen an ad where a man gets his wife exercise equipment for Christmas and it doesn't end in a murder, that's Peloton. And I thought it was going to be good. 2 weeks in, it taught me a valuable lesson about myself. I was riding, taking a class, and the instructor looked through the window, looked through the screen, apparently directly into my soul. And he said this, he went, hey, give yourself a round of applause. Yeah. And to no one in my empty apartment, I out loud said, fuck you. Yeah. Here's how you can tell if you need to work on your anger. It's how you respond when a computer asks you to love yourself. Yeah. I fucked up immediately. And the next thing he said was, hey, if you don't clap for you, who's going to? Yeah. Did you know Peloton's written by your mother? Yeah. Gotta build yourself up there, guy. Fuck, I don't know. I went to therapy to try to like not take shit so personally. Here's in your late 30s, if you're a man, you get only compliments that feel like insults, okay? During the NBA playoffs, I was watching the game at a bar. This fucker sat next to me for 30 minutes, said nothing to me. And then he looked at me, tapped me on the shoulder, and he goes, hey man, you're an uncle, right? How would you respond? I said, fuck you, sir. Like, you're an uncle, right? And I understand what he meant. What he meant was like, I look like a man who's not doing well right now, okay? Like, I look like what happens when the economy gets set on fire every 5 years since the 80s, all right? You end up with a bunch of dudes who look like what your creative character in Tony Hawk would be doing right now, okay? Like, what he meant, but it was also, he was looking at me and being like, hey man, you look like your brother fucks. You know? And that hurts because I got 2 beautiful nephews. My brother lays it down, you know? It's really terrifying. I don't know, if I'm not gonna have kids, maybe I can be the world's uncle. I'd be fine with that, you know? I do uncle shit. I buy R-rated movie tickets for kids I don't know. Like, okay, you're like, creep. Look, man, let's assume QAnon is right and there are fucking pedophiles and perverts everywhere. Shouldn't they know what the chill guys look like? Okay, like, I'm not gonna buy them beer, but if you wanna go see Oppenheimer, that's on you, you know? Only time it's ever backfired was in Denver, Colorado last year. I was on tour, decided to go to the movies by myself, standing in line playing Words with Friends, not really paying attention. Look up right before I get to the kiosk, I'm like, oh, there's 2 kids on a date. How lovely. You know, go back to my game. I get to the kiosk, I'm like, I want, like, not even look it up. I'm like, I want one for Terrifier 2. I want to watch a clown eat some guys. And I heard the worst thing a guy who looks like me could hear, which is, I'm gonna need to see some identification. Fuck, no you don't. No you don't. If this is the body of a 15-year-old boy, that's a 15-year-old boy who's about to die, okay? Let him get any art he wants in that short window of time, you know? I looked up outrage. I realized he's not talking to me. He's talking to my buddies over here. Without missing a beat, I was like, oh, don't worry about it. They can go to that movie. Those are my kids. And fucking everybody stopped talking. I was like, what did I miss? And I look over, I'm like, oh, those are 2 Guatemalan teenagers, okay? But also, it's 2023. You don't know who the fuck I could pull, you racist? You know, like, maybe their mom has a dominant trait and a fetish for whatever this is, you know? So I leaned in. I was like, yeah, those are my kids. What about it? And he said, you mean to tell me you are all related? And that's when I remembered when I looked up, was like, oh, those kids are on a date. I had seen those 2 teenagers furiously making out with each other in line. Yeah. Deep tongue, grabbing ass. I'm just behind them like, good job, kids. You know? In that moment, we all have a choice to make, you know? Like, they could have gone and seen a PG-13 movie, but they're looking at me for answers. Like, Papa, what do we do? You know? And then they said, yeah, that's our dad. Have you ever wanted to see an R-rated movie so badly you leaned into incest, guys? Yeah. Not me. I came clean immediately. I was like, I need to stop this right now. I mean, to be honest with you, these are not my biological children. I'm their stepdad, though. They're definitely related. I'm not going to tell another man how to raise his kids. That's not who I am. I don't know. I've been with this same woman for 22 years. I believe in astrology now because of that. I don't know. Does anyone here believe in astrology? Yeah, okay. A lot of it's a weird response. I don't get it. Fuck it. I believe in astrology because my wife believes in astrology. I believed in Jesus Christ for my dad for 32 years. You know? That guy never one time gave me roadhead. Not once. You know? And if he did, it would have been a point of contention. I'll be real. It's toothy, you know? I believe in astrology. My wife loves it at first, you know? The problem is she didn't anticipate what would happen if I loved astrology. Because here's the thing, if you're a straight dude, astrology is the greatest thing that ever happened to your dating life. Because astrology is just a woman lying to herself about why you're a piece of shit, okay? Like, you're not an alcoholic who won't work on his anger. You're a Cancer sun, an Aries moon, and a Cancer rising. I have no idea what that means. But it makes my wife's friends gasp when I say it's my chart. So I've started using it against her. We had an argument the other week. She was like, you're coming home every night, 5 nights in a row, 1 in the morning, drunk, smelling like cigarettes? I don't think you're doing your best. And I was like, Mercury's in retrograde. None of us are doing our best. And she's like, you're not allowed to use it like that. And I'm like, I'm not going to get in trouble for listening. That's not how this works. Refuse. I've had a lot of weird jobs in my life. The weirdest job I ever had was OnlyFans. Fuck you. And I didn't run my own OnlyFans. I ran my best friend's OnlyFans. She's a stepmom porn star. She specializes in MILF porn. If you don't know what a MILF is, that's an industry term for a woman who is 28. If you don't get that joke, you're the problem. And I went over to her house. She's having a rough go. She's like, I think I have to take a break. My fans are going through it. And I was like, oh, you can't talk to your sad boys? I could do that. And she was like, fucking prove it. She threw a phone at me and was like, here, you be me for a week. I lasted 6.5 weeks as a stepmom porn star. And the fucked up thing is, I was good at my job, okay? I made $3,000 my first week, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And here's what I did, guys. I gave those boys the one thing they had never had before. I gave them a good mom, okay? Like, day one, kidding, I was like, sup, mommy, show me them tits. And I was like, I can't believe you speak to a woman you just met like that. I bet you're not doing very well. I bet your bed's not made. In like 8 minutes, just the ... stop, ... stop. And he hit me back, he's like, how did you know I'm not doing too well? And I said, a mother always knows, send me $50. Over 6 weeks, what I did was raise up a generation of men, guys. I taught him about dating, I taught him about like good work advice, and then they'd be like, here's my dick, and I'd be like, good dick. It was an easy job, okay? It was less degrading than any office job I've ever had. And here's what broke me. It wasn't the sexting or the intimacy, I could handle that. What fucked me up was a question I did not realize that men were asking, because I've been with the same gal for 22 years, all right? I didn't realize men were asking this. I'm curious, if you like dick in this room, has someone with a dick ever asked you, is this the biggest one you've ever seen? Yeah? You've apparently asked that a lot. I didn't know men were asking that question. I didn't know they were asking a question scientifically designed to hurt their own feelings, okay? And every day they'd be like, is this the biggest dick you've ever seen? I'd be like, it's bigger than mine, but they didn't want to hear that. So I'd be like, that dick's so big you need a license to use it. And they'd be like, so top 5? And I was like, yeah, top 5, baby. How fucking broken are you? You know? And that's what did it for. I was just like, I can't handle these motherfuckers being like, top 5 every day. And I drove to her house and I knocked on her door and I was like, I'm out of the game. She's like, why? And I was like, the boys are going through it. You know? She's like, what was it? And I said, they kept asking if they had the biggest dick I'd ever seen. I was like, well, she's like, yeah, they'll do that, you know. And then, I want to be real with you, I apologized to her. I said, hey, I'm really sorry. And she's like, why? And she said, the only reason I had this job is because I was a dick to you. Like, you told me about something I didn't understand because I didn't think about how hard porn might be. I thought it was cheap and easy. I was a shitty friend to you, and I thought that I could do it. It never occurred to me how much humanity I might see or how hard it might be, and I'm really sorry. I love you, and I owe you an apology. And my friend looked at me and said, I love you, and it's okay. I want you to know I'm not a victim. Technically, I was your pimp. But if it matters, I want you to know you're not the first person to ever help me with this, but as far as I'm concerned, you're one of the best. And I was like top 5, you know? And she told me to get the fuck out of her house. My name is John Michael Bond. I'm gonna